I know last night when we talked, I mentioned that. So season two, we're covering Vanilla Sky, and I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about that project. So this is 2001. You're working with Tom Cruise alongside the incredible director Cameron Crowe. The opening scene with Tom Cruise running around a seemingly empty New York City and Times Square. How do you even go about beginning to make something like that happen?
Well, I think it was 8 lines in the script, something like that. So when I read it first, I said, "Wow, that is going to be one cool special effects shot." And then I found out what Tom and Cameron wanted, which was a live action shot. So that was the first thing that just completely blew my mind, for obvious reasons. So we hired a specific production manager and a team of people who had to go out to every business in Times Square that was going to be impacted by where we were going to shoot. And they had to sign contracts with them, make deals with them to keep their stores closed, had meetings with the mayor's office and the film office. And we had to figure out how we were going to shut down traffic, how they were going to reroute buses, how we were going to hold up pedestrians. It was a big deal. It took an incredible amount of time by an incredible amount of people. Then when they told us that we could shoot on a Sunday for 4 hours, I think it was, then we had to figure out how were we going to get everything in and out and get the shots we needed in the 4 hours. So John Toll, the cinematographer, came up with the idea of, we went to an empty lot in Brooklyn and we laid out the basic layout of Times Square that we needed. And then we practiced how Tom would come in, where the crane would be, how the guy with the steady cam would get onto the crane and rise up, and what the other shots would be, and how we would all work the equipment around, and then how we would get it off and on. So that's what it took. I had 100 PAs. I didn't have. Our production team had 100 PAs for that night. They had to. They started clearing the streets at like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was really foggy. A couple of them had the hell scared out of them because people threatened them and stuff. We had coffee bars off to the side of every street just out of shot, where if people had to go somewhere and we were holding them up during the shooting, we'd give them coffee and the PAs would talk to them about what was going on. It was a big deal.
Let me ask this: was that the most challenging part of the production, or did something manage to top that, or was there more like a more rewarding moment for you from the production?
It was absolutely the most challenging. I mean, the scale of that. I mean, when we shot that thing, honestly, Tarian, there was nothing but pigeons in that shot when we started. There was nobody, not a car, not anything, as far as you could see down like 3 streets. So that was the most challenging. But the other one was the car leaves the Dakota, right, where John Lennon used to live or something, and comes out onto Central Park West and goes south on Central Park West toward Columbus Circle. We had to shoot that too, and we were holding people down in the subways. We blocked traffic off, holding people out on the side streets, holding them down the subways. People get pissed off. They're like, "We're not, you can't." And so that was pretty tense. And the dailies didn't look good. We went back the next day and did it again. So, and we knew then what we were dealing with. A lot of times, if you don't know what you're dealing with, it's not so hard. You can just go in and, oh, wow, it's really weird, but thank God it's over. And now we had to go back and we were like, oh, no. Yeah. So that was weird. That was a huge team effort. Everybody on the crew and the cast just did it. It was cool.
Tom Cruise, I want to make this clear. Tom Cruise has been quoted, just Tom, has been quoted as saying that Vanilla Sky is the best film he has done. Now, I'm going to ask you, because I've enjoyed this interview, and you're a pretty intelligent guy, and I feel like I know where your heart's at. If you had to choose, just throwing this out there, Tom's not here, nobody's here. If you had to choose between Rain Man and Vanilla Sky, which one, in your expert opinion, would you say is better?
As far as Tom Cruise's acting?
No. Just if you're going to bed at night, you got your milk and cookies, you just need to wind down. You're just winding down at night. You want to feel good.
No, you can't.
No. He asked me. He asked me.
You can't put it under the pretext of.
He gave me a canvas and I'm painting. Let me paint.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the last movie you're ever going to see. World's ending. What you watching?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll go with Rain Man, and I'll tell you why.
Miami style, baby.
No. But here's why. If you're talking about if I'm going to bed. Now, if I'm just getting up and I want to have a day where I got to think about stuff, then I'm going to go with Vanilla Sky. Because honest to God, look, Torian, I got to tell you something. There were days on that show on Vanilla Sky where I would have crew people come up to me. Hey man, can I talk to you for 1 second? Sure. So, do you know what this scene is about? Do you know what we're doing here? And there were a lot of times where I had to say, honest to God, I haven't got a country clue. I don't, because and look at, I think, but I think that's both its most difficult point and its best point, because it's hard if you want it to be logical and make sense, but if you're the kind of person that likes to, like, go for the implied and go for the, is it a dream, is it a time slice, is it a, all those things that they came up with. To me, it felt like a dream more than anything, and a dream bordering on a hallucination with some slices of reality to give it a basis to kick off from. But that's kind of simplistic, but I'm simplistic that way. I don't know what the hell some of those people came up with as interpretations, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's that was kind of the answer to my next question about that's one of my favorite things about the movie, is that even Cameron Crowe says, however deep you want to go with this, the movie will meet you there. And he's actually put out 6 approved theories for what the...
I mean, if you have 6 theories, do you have one? Yes. I'm asking questions. They want to know these things.
Yes, he's playing 3-dimensional chess.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, yeah. But does a... Actually, you can take that question.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Was there a particular scene that, I mean, we're still Vanilla Sky here, was there a particular scene for you that stood out as your favorite? And I know we talked about the most difficult scene, but if like you said, if you want to think, and obviously you're a thinking man, if you want to be cerebral, what scene really made you think?
I think in the Institute, when they were doing those interviews in the Institute, that's me big time. I was trying to follow it and figure out, like, how that fit into what David was going through, and how did these actors come into this? I know they were in another scene, but how does that work with this? I was pretty spun when we were filming that, trying to track how that would fit in. But the thing that I liked about it, I did like its open-endedness. I did like that it was hard to figure out. And I worried that people would just blow it off because they couldn't figure it out, right? So why would you make a movie that is so open to interpretation? I'm not, but for me, it was uncomfortable too, because it was hard to figure out. And, but I think, what I did was I read a whole bunch of different viewpoints of it, and then kind of, okay, that part makes sense, this part makes sense. He nailed that part, that was good. And I kind of did that for myself, and it helped me. But when we were shooting it, I understand, it was confusing.
Thank you for that. No, let me just say thank you, because you know what? I don't know. Listen, we've done a lot of interviews this season, but I'm telling you, I'm nominating you for the most honest guest award. Just thank you so much for that. That's making me. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it 2 more times now, because you were just so honest. I'm going to give it 2 more watches.
Why don't you subscribe? It'll last longer.